chapter of Society of Professional Journalists. Pascal Albright over there is the president, and Mandy Marie
Loader.
What? Loader. I can never remember your last name. She's the vice president of the student chapter. We've been doing this run for how many years, Phil?
It's the fourth year.
Fourth year?
No, fifth year. This is the fifth year.
Fifth year.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Andrew Patterson was president, now working down in Sierra Vista. The first year we started it, and he's joined us again. This is an event that's near and dear to the heart of Bill Schmidt. And Bill is a professor here in the School of Journalism, formerly of some little paper up in New York somewhere, right? So he's going to tell us a little bit about Jim Foley and the purpose of the run. I want to encourage you all to add something to our graffiti boards in terms of what a free press means for you. But just before we get started, I'll turn it over to Bill to talk about what we're doing here.
Thank you. And any points I miss, Houston will, my dog Houston will. So anyhow, one of the reasons we became so involved with this was that the very first year we created at the university here, the Center for Border and Global Journalism, one of our first events was to bring in the parents of Jim Foley. We brought his mother Diane and his father John came to Tucson, where we had a program where they talked about their son. Jim was a freelance reporter. He had graduated from Marquette University. He grew up in New Hampshire. He went to the University of Massachusetts at Amherst and got an MFA in creative writing, and then he became interested in journalism. And he went to the Medill School of Journalism, the graduate school of journalism at Northwestern, and was then drawn to reporting and began reporting overseas. He also did, by the way, a brief stint with Teach for America here in Phoenix. He actually taught up in Phoenix for a bit. But he became more interested in journalism as a freelance reporter. As you know, many young people who work abroad now, that's the way you do it. You hook up with somebody, you have the language ability, you go abroad. And he was drawn to war reporting and the opportunities of war reporting. He began reporting in Iraq. He was embedded with U.S. troops in Afghanistan. He followed the fighting to Libya, where actually he was captured in Libya and held for 44 days and released back in, I think, 2010 or 2011. And then he went to, he followed the wars then to Syria, and when Syria fell apart and the rebellion began against the regime of Assad. And in 2011, Jim and some other reporters were on the border of Turkey, and they wanted to go into Syria to cross the border to hook up with some troops from the Free Syrian Army who were leading the rebellion against Bashir Assad, the son of Assad. And as they crossed the border, they were followed by some people who were affiliated with one of the more radical Islamic groups then fighting. It turned out that they were actually, this was the beginnings of ISIS. They were troops from ISIS. And when they crossed the border, they kidnapped them. And he was actually held for almost 18 months. Moved around in different places in Syria, held with other American correspondents and other foreigners that ISIS had kidnapped and was holding for hostage. There was one attempt under the Obama administration. They sent some special forces in, tried to free them. They had moved him, so they couldn't find him. So eventually, as you all know, no one heard from him. He had kind of disappeared, and then one day the video surfaced that showed that ISIS, some people from ISIS, beheading Jim Foley, and he was murdered. One of several correspondents and foreigners who were video that circulated all over the world. His family, in the wake of his death, became very outspoken about safety for journalists abroad, particularly for freelancers abroad, for the U.S. government doing more for people who are taken hostage abroad, to try to help them and to help the families, and they've created a foundation, the James W. Foley Legacy Foundation, which is kind of what this is all about today. Thanks to contributions from a lot of the faculty and from friends of people here, we were able to donate $550 to the foundation each year, and for every person who donated, they sent us a t-shirt, and that's why you guys are so gaddily outfitted today because of these things. So in any event, all across the country today, there are runs like this, just remembering the kind of legacy of Jim Foley and what he means in terms of the courage that's part of journalism, the importance of bearing witness, you know, of actually crossing into harm's way so that you can account for things, for the importance of press freedom. So anyhow, that's what this is all about. And with that in mind,